Hello and welcome to the Penny Stamps Distinguished Speaker Series. My name is Christina Hamilton, the series director. Today, we are thrilled to bring you the mesmerizing and provocative artist Pippa Lottie Rist in a special program, which is truly a silver lining of the pandemic experience for us at the series, as it's been 10 years in the asking for Pippa Lottie to join us today. And a special welcome to those of you joining us for the 59th Ann Arbor Film Festival, the longest running experimental film festival in North America. We're proud to partner with you on this program. For a little background on our guest, a pioneer of spatial video art, Pippa Lottie Rist's career rise coincided with the vast technological advancements seen over the past 4 decades. A reality that Pippa Lottie has responded to through the playful exploration of new possibilities. Having had countless solo and group exhibitions and video screenings at leading institutions worldwide, Rist is a central figure within the international art scene. Through large projections and digital manipulation, she has developed the immersive installation concept, finding within the mind, senses, and body the possibility for endless poetical invention. As she herself puts it, beside the energy-intensive exploration of the geographical world, pictures, films, and sounds are the spaces into which we can escape. The projector is the flamethrower, the space is the vortex, and you are the pearl within. Before Pippa Lottie joins us today, we will begin with a short excerpt from a documentary profile created by the Louisiana Channel, and then Pippa Lottie will join us to discuss her work and the creative process.
I'm a stone, I'm a molecule, I'm a human mouse, I'm pollen, I'm a mask, I'm a pig disguised as a human, I'm an introvert disguised as an extrovert. I consider myself as a man pretending to be a woman. I have 2 cameras here, blood-driven, and I saw many other who have also blood-driven cameras. The given so-called normal life looks to me very surrealistic. Willkommen! And surrealistic display looks normal. Because who decided what is the norm and what not? Artists have different tasks, but one for sure is to have a detached view on social constructions, on political situations, and try to bring in other alternatives, that we don't get stuck and frozen in given rules. My father once said, I have looked too much inwards, that's why I'm so short-sighted. I consider dreams or closed eyes reality the same importance as perceiving the world with open eyes. Even if we open the eyes, what we really in the end process is only a tiny extract and extremely subjective. And from that knowledge, I give the same importance to looking inward and outward. And inward, we are even more isolated. And I'm so interested to see what the others see when they close the eyes. And my only way to come closer is make propositions. I remember my family different, and from my school friends telling me how they perceived us as a family. They say we were quite wild and not normed. When you grow up in a family, that is for you the norm. And you only see where the norm is different when you meet other norms. For example, when I went in the pyjama to the school, my father and my mother would not deny it. Conventions and norms are, of course, necessary that we can live together. but we are very quick in adopting any norm, any convention, because we have no time and no fantasy to turn every norm upside down. This person wants to come out through the screen. Open My Glade, Open means listening, was initially made to play inside a very commercial environment of the Times Square, and she's contra-behaving to that we always want to shine in the best light. In a way, it's also a mask, what we put on. The figure pressing from behind to the screen also makes us conscious that there is always a plastic or a glass, and we have the tendency to forget the frame, to forget the physicality, and in many works that wish is articulated that we should not only see what's happening in the images, but also come back and forth where we are with the body in the moment. My main medium, video, even now high definition or 4K or is still very rough compared to what we see in real life. And it's flat. Even virtual reality tries to make us believe it's not flat, but it's all information on organized information, quite a nervous thing, and just a lousy copy of our incredible visual eye system. So it's in a way like a third eye on a lower level. Video is like backglass painting, but that's a general observation that today we put all our knowledge, our feelings, our history behind flat screens with a normed form. And my big goal is to free these images, to free that wonderlight, either by treating it like painting behind glass, but also to free it in the room, to put it back to our bodies. That's one of my goals. I don't make any separation between our body and nature. We are organic structure, chaotic. We are not a Porsche, we are really a plant with no roots, a plant that can walk. The body is all we have. And it's a camera, it's a recording system, it's all the technical tools I use to do my works are already incorporated in our given structure. Camera here is on the ground, looking upwards and making the movement along the stems to the blossoms and then into the sky. The camera is here used to have perspectives and doing ways we cannot personally achieve with the size of our body and the unpracticality of our big brain, a big head. And it helps also to imagine how the life for an insect here must be. And if my work helps to imagine other perspectives, even of animals or children or stones, then I'm really satisfied. Camera can show the subjectivity of the body. When the camera comes close here, this becomes a kilometer. And if the camera stands over there, like now, then I'm only 1 centimeter in the screen. And that's how we perceive our body. Depending on temperature, on mood, situation, size is completely relative. And I try to replicate that with the camera work.
And now I'm pleased to be joined by Pipilotti Rist, beaming to us from Zurich, Switzerland, with a great fracturing of light particles. Welcome, Pipilotti. Please tell us, where is it you are right now?
I'm in my studio, and it's a wonder that we, through data, can be in the same digital space now. It's really amazing. I always try to be very grateful what we have, not to think too much of what we don't have.
Yes, well, it is good to be positive. And as you know, I refer to you as the silver lining of the pandemic for the series in this moment. But today I want to start off with one of your earliest works, and a work which came before you moved out of the confines of the box or single channel screen. What can you tell us about this, the piece, I'm Not the Girl Who Misses Much, which is based on a fragment of the John Lennon song, Happiness is a Warm Gun?
She's not a girl who misses much. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh yeah. She's well acquainted with the touch of the velvet hand, like a lizard on a window pane. The man in the crowd with the multicolored mirrors on his hobnail boots, lying with his eyes while his hands are busy working overtime. A soap impression of his wife, which he ate and donated to the National Trust. I need a fix 'cause I'm going down.
After looking at, this early work of yours from the 80s, then what was your sort of leap to get into this, this more interactive, bringing people into the space and creating this never-ending screen idea? Or, how did you move from that single channel film experience to creating something different? What was your impetus behind that?
The biggest impetus was to escape this square form. The square form is only there that we can change the content quicker. but has no other reason. Also in architecture, they want to make us believe that square houses is the most beautiful modern thing, but actually it's the most practical, payable. And my goal was and is still to use given consumer techniques and free it up and use it in different ways, and in the end would motivate people also to use their own devices and their own projectors or screens to have less respect for the technique and use it also as a wonderlight in the living context.
A wonder light. I love that.
That's Zip My Ocean, one of the earliest projection works I did, and it was mirrored in the corner, in that way opening up the architecture. When a movement is going this way, you are swallowed into the corner, or when the movement goes the other way, it's opening up the corner. And that has a lot of meaning to me. Also, the corners we live in. Actually, we are only in corners and square rooms. They were built that we are protected against cold and rain and snow, and we give everything for that. So the whole civilization is made that our delicate body is protected. And here is a projection up in the Church of San Stai in Venice. And when you ask me what influenced me, it was very much the Christian iconography. And the ceiling here always means it's the spirit. And you come into the church, you go a little bit down, and then you look up. And what they did with the ceiling was to direct our view up over our body, up to the heaven. And one other interest of me is to bring the spirit and the body together.
In your work, having for the viewer, you have to become part of your physical body when all of a sudden you're laying down, you're looking in a different orientation, right? To experience these images, it makes you more aware, I think, of your physical body.
Yes, and also they can feel how they differently watch when their body is released, how they perceive differently, and also fight against that rule that we always look only horizontal. That is again some years back. It's Sip My Ocean, but then with a third projection on the ceiling. This is called Patience, and is one projection and partly goes to a stone standing there. Then some of the image is on the white sofa, and the rest of the image is used for the back, the wall back behind. But it's only one projection, and with masking you do the different layerings.
And then tell me about these. I love this. I just love this idea of the video light to caress us. They're amazing.
You come home and you turn on the lamp, and the lamp gives downwards a projection to your lap. And as you nicely said, it's caressing your laps. Also the idea that we can use moving images not to display reality in a lousy way, but that we also can use it as a light that caresses us when we come home and when we are tired. So you see the lamp on the right side. It's the one that the projection comes out of. And then next pictures are, it's called the space capsules. That was conceived in a moment when I was so tired of all the physical installing. Thought I want to have it similar like the painters, just ship something. And so I perceived this box where you see a little sleeping room in it. And there's a projection coming out in the middle, very small projector, consumer projector, and with a mirror that turns, this image goes around in this little sleeping room. This image speaks about resolution. Interesting for me, coming also from a time where we had only PAL or NTSC, and we always perceived it as sharp. And nowadays, young people say that's not sharp anymore. And that also shows that our brain always was filling up the missing information in the pictures. And that's how we perceive, we construct. We only see a little bit, and then from that we construct reality. Mm-hmm. And this is working with the same material of the screen. This is a plastic, but plastic molded, formed with heat. And that the plastic, how it's formed, then affects the movements behind, shot from behind onto the plastic. From this work with the plastic also came this work, Pixel Forest. And you see the light engineer Kaori Kuwabara. That was in the first moment also a humorous joke against the virtual reality. Even if we think we are in three-dimensional room, we are still or even more isolated. So I was asking Kaori if we can do a room where the pixels are in the room and addressed. So they play a three-dimensional image where people walk through. Of course, it's a very abstract image because only 3,000 dots. And here you see people in my studio connecting all these LEDs. And then in the end, they were hanged on metal strings here. Mm-hmm. That's in the new museum, Kaori with Jill from the museum. And then in the end, we play in videos here with people going through. And on the next image, you see how we had to prepare it. This work is a reminiscence of that we always think in layers. While you're now talking with me, you're thinking of your brother. And you have these layers. And I wanted to find physical formulations of that. So when a projection goes on this very thin gray fabrics, it always also reflects on the next one. And you see it extremely distorted, but only if you go into the same perspective of the projector, you don't see it distorted. And that's also a psychological thing. We only can understand each other when we try to take the same position. You saw the figure coming in, and the figure makes shadow, and in the shadow you see through the fabric to the next fabrics. But if there is no shadow, you don't see through. So the bright image always prevents you from seeing deeper. And in the shadow we see through, and that's something that interests me a lot. It's a little projection out of a copper sphere onto a tear, also from plastic. And images on the video are computer journeys over super high resolution photos of vulvas. This is a projection in a Centre Pompidou, down on the square. You see the people walking on the square, and the camera work is also done that there is no bottom and top, and always going into the mouth of one of the actors, and then from there into another world. So this is a projection on the floor. Often I can also use the rest of the square for other projections. Like in the next one, people who would see this projection would not realize that originally came out from the standard square. They think it's two different lights on the floor. This was a group exhibition in Zurich in a museum called Riedberg about Asian, South American and African art, and they invited us to react to different geographical areas, and I'm in the Japanese area, and this is a mask, the wild uncle, and the mask, then video projected on it. It is also linked with the notion that when we say persona, comes from the word personar, sounding through. So actually the person we are is the one sounding through the mask we have as a face. This is the video that is on just a still, or maybe it moves. It's the video on the mouth and the eyes, and changing, sometimes going over the whole face, sometimes staying only in eye and mouth, in our holes, 3 of the 7 holes. Now I'm extremely in the macro world working now for my next work. And it's actually things we almost don't see, like if the eye is moving, the black part here is wobbling. When I look over there and I look back to you, what we never see is that it's actually wobbling. So the hole is wobbling in our ball, but it's too fast. We don't see it, and too small. And I like to bring realities that are so close, but almost not visible for us with the limited senses we have. They are not from the evolution, not yet developed. That's a work called Nothing. And the only thing the machine is doing is big soap bubbles and filled with disco smoke. And then these bubbles flow through the room depending on the wind. And in the end, they explode and look like little cumulus clouds. Times Square, in the time where there was only one screen, that was in 2000. Now there's millions of screens. And the work I did there was that this figure is trying to transgress the monitor. I have to admit that in that moment when I did the work, was not aware of Anna Mendieta's work, but of course it has a clear link, and she was much before me. But this figure speaks more about the screen, about the surface behind which we try to put everything nowadays. Here, this is a projector going from the tip forward, and people can watch the video with the heads in it. It's from 92, and also the form from outside shows us how aggressive our views can be when we, from our little pupils, scan the other in a second, and how our subconsciousness then brings up all the prejudice. So that is in a way also a sculpture to underline. And what here was especially interesting for me, that when people saw the head of the next person so close, they immediately started to talk. As soon as the body is gone, people are much more confident. And then this is Mercy Garden. It's a work from 6 years ago, also going from bottom to top, with a clear bottom in this case. it also deals with the tenderness of the male. It's only male hands from boys and then from a farmer, and their tactile intelligence, how they touch something without breaking. And I was just fascinated by the farmers, how they worked, and tried to make it work from that. This is a projection onto a bed, also from an exhibition here in Sydney, MCA, then with a kid. I really love pictures, people sending me. And that's the whole footage. I had 2 actors. They were both fixed on the hips with a rope here also in the studio. And they would just then have these 3 seconds pushing them away from the wall and trying to float in the room. So it's really, I'm doing with minimal tools. I try to make the most, because we work in very small groups, but that of course gives the possibility to make a lot of try and error. When you work with big teams, it has to function in the moment, and I prefer the style where you have the possibilities to react, and 2 steps forward, 1 back. And that was in Zurich. So sometimes I then also use just disco light, very, very slowly disco light, instead of having additional lights. And some objects, they need a certain amount of light. So the whole thing with this installation is finding a balance between the different qualities and temperatures of light. And here we have the chandelier, the underpants chandelier, and the same symbol comes also in the next, and that these underpants become light, whereas normally our hips are the most heavy thing in our body, where everything comes together from shame and lust, and just use this part, and whoops, that it becomes a light. And it's also the part where we came out and saw the light. This is Every's Overall, one of my blockbusters. And I like this image, Japanese school children in Kanazawa, the photo by the curator. I got a carte blanche for a magazine, and I used it to introduce several friends that influenced me. So I made poems about them, portraits, and they also got each two pages. And then on the title, I wanted to have an older lady. It was when I was still a younger lady, and the chief, even he has given me a carte blanche, said, "Oh no, we won't sell the image." the magazine. So in that moment, I just thought, "Hey boy, I will smash your car tonight." And then I went home and I thought, no, he's not worth that. And from that, I came to the work, and it was important for me that, and she did it so well. It's Silvana Ceschi, a filmmaker herself. She makes it as if it would be the normal thing. And it helped me a lot also to question what is given, what we just take as granted because we have no time or no courage or no imagination to change it. And that's how I perceive the cars. They're just there and they take everything, and the cars are just seem as a given reality. And that she would just treat them, no, that's not a given reality. They could vanish any moment, or this fairy tale like reaction to different obstacles.
Well, Pipilotti, thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us in this space that we're occupying. As a special treat, I know one of my favorite, and for many people, a very earth-shattering work of yours, Ever Is All Over, we would love to show as a way out. So thank you so much.
Hey, it was a pleasure. And I hope you smash your fears. And the silver lining and the spring is coming.